Okay, AyyJayy versus AppJack. 1v1. I think they last time that they 1v1, I think Jack won this matchup. I believe that they played on Jack's channel when they were... didn't they play on Jack's channel a bunch when AyyJayy was over for the Fall Major? I think they might have rematched actually in the Winter Major, but this is going to be a brand new AyyJayy. He really is peaking right now. He hit #1 in the worldwide 1v1 rankings the other day by beating Khaled. And now he's had that taken away from him. I think Moxie took it away from him, then AyyJayy got it back, and then TRK took it away from both of them. So there seems to be a lot of active top 10 1v1 players at the moment, with Khaled and AppJack also getting involved in that. So who knows who's going to come out #1 once the Saudi LAN comes around. Oh, what a save! AyyJayy pre-flips to lunge across the net. AppJack thought he would have a 1-goal lead there with the demo. No such luck. Now he inches closer, gets a bump from very close range. I think AyyJayy is going to get that one as well. AppJack not getting a fast enough shot, and AyyJayy is away on the counter here. Might actually have a goal, because AppJack does not have too much speed, but great recovery there by Jack. Both players just getting home in time to block. Very, very dangerous shots. Now AppJack looking for a bump in defense. AyyJayy shrugs it off. He's still got the ball under his control here. He's going to take the boost in the back corner. Jack with a wall dash. Explodes down the line. Wasn't too far off, chipping that one on target. AyyJayy pre-jumps to block the rebound. These guys are defending so well at the moment. You can tell that they've got a great read on each other right out of the gate. As AppJack tries to flick the ball high. He's looking for another shot on the rebound again. And AyyJayy with the wave dash in the wall. Everybody's trying to get as much speed as possible, and they don't have boost, of course. AppJack rips a shot on net, given AyyJay's goalkeeping standard up until now. He knew that one wasn't going to go in. But what it did do is force AyyJayy to use all his boost. Now Jack is going to keep on piling the pressure onto his opponent. Oh, quick question. I didn't get to catch Game 7 of AyyJayy vs Arias on Fear's channel yesterday, so if you, I'm going to ask what the final score was, but if you don't want spoilers for that, turn off the chat right now. I won't read it out loud. After a fantastic back and forth in the first 2 minutes of the game, it is AyyJayy who gets the opening goal. What a stunning display leading up to 1-0. Okay, thank you chat for filling me in there. I know the chat's on the screen, but avert your eyes if you don't want to get spoilers. As always, you just got to not look at chat. There's going to be spoilers in there for something. But I know a lot of you like to have it left in for the VODs, for the videos, so that you can celebrate with the viewers who are here to watch it live. AppJack trying to get as much pace as possible. He's done so well there. This touch is hard to appreciate, but notice how he rolls with the ball to keep the ball moving, but also to accelerate his car. If he didn't flip there, then he's not going to have enough pace to beat AyyJayy to the bottom corner. So that was a fantastic touch by Jack. Both players showing maximum efficiency at the moment. AyyJayy trying to open up a shooting angle. Jack does the right thing, which is to close the distance, and AyyJayy was not ready for that. Jack will take the 1-goal lead. You might have heard me, in fact, if you've watched my videos for any time at all in the past year, you'll know that I do talk about this a lot. You know, getting an angle in your setup for your dribble is always a good way to cause the opponent to really struggle in any kind of defensive shadowing position. So Jack didn't stay in a shadowing position. He just lunged in, closed the gap before AyyJayy could set up any kind of dangerous shots on target. Now it's Jack 3-1. Physical play lands. So he's 1 for 2 now in the air dribble bump game. Something that worked really well for him yesterday against Raziers on my channel. Brutal226, thanks for the 8-month year one. Also Mr. Mediocre 11, thanks for the brand new Prime. You're anything but mediocre, my friend. As are these world-class players we currently have on screen. AyyJayy not too far away from landing a floor double there. I don't think Jack's going to have... Oh my goodness, he timed it to perfection. I thought he was going to be a bit too quick into the corner there, but he caught it as he was leaving the boost. That timing was impeccable. AyyJayy does the same thing. Both players catch the boost exactly on spawn. I mean, the level these two are showing at the moment is quite spectacular. They're matching each other blow for blow with the saves, with the pre-jumps, with the reads, even in the micromanagement of back corner boost pickups to the millisecond. AppJack with the edge. Physical play has been the difference between the two players who mechanically and positionally seem to be equals. One more big goal could do it. Jack with the reset. AyyJayy not able to pressure the ball from where he's at. Jack decides not to play for the goal, instead just recover, take the ball into his own half, and play for the win instead. There's more time being wasted here. Jack's had full control for quite a while, and he's waiting for AyyJayy's inevitable challenge. It is going to be forced. AyyJayy has to do something here. He can't just let Jack continue to dictate where the game's being played. Finally, AyyJayy does get a look at the ball. He's got to score, you'd think, on this attack, or definitely on this possession play. Tries to wave dash to pick up the boost. It didn't spawn for him. It didn't spawn for Jack either, who goes for the bump. With both players grind to a halt in the midfield. And the demo should seal it. Jack he thought, I think, there to go for the double demo, knowing that the ball was in a safe location. He's done enough. I think it's clear to see that both players are extremely evenly matched when it comes to recoveries, when it comes to decision making, when it comes to reading each other in offense. But like I said earlier, the difference was the physical game. Jack coming out on top numerous occasions with cheeky little bumps and demos. AyyJayy wasn't ready for that. Now he's got to either try and implement that in his own offense, or perhaps try to just make himself a little bit harder to hit. Even defensively, Jack using a key bump at one moment in this game to deny AyyJayy a shot for just a little bit longer. And that is what stopped AyyJayy from getting more opportunities. But look at the shot differential, 14-2. AyyJayy, despite having a fair bit of possession play, at least in the early game, couldn't really create it, or couldn't really turn that into shots on target. Now, a lot of those shots from Jack were not shots that he expected to go in. They were just shots that he was using to force AyyJayy to jump, force AyyJayy to waste some boost, and then force him to concede the possession again. But it continues to be a plethora of demos and bumps for Jack that AyyJayy's just not ready for. He's trying to react. He expected a shot there, positioned on the wall to intercept it. Jack just rolls the ball on net, drives ahead of it to score once again. AyyJayy being held to just one goal after all this time is not a lot, and he's missed the boost in the back corner here. 2-0 Jack. Big kickoff win, good bounce on the wall, and AyyJayy would not be able to get back to his goal quick enough. Elmo, thanks for the 25-month Prime. Also Linder, thanks for the 54-month Tier 1. Welcome back to the channel, both of you. AyyJayy gets one. He's matched his score from the first game already. Jack taking a bit too long to get back there. Well played by AyyJayy, though. That wasn't an easy finish after the ball kicked off the back wall the way it did. Delayed kickoff for Jack with the wave dash recovery as well. He's got another wave dash in the following 50. And the ball was not sitting pretty for AyyJayy to score. Decided to bail for the midfield. Lots of hard hits from from Jack. Sorry, he's keeping AyyJayy honest. He's just taking pot shots. AyyJayy spotted the back corner challenge. He'll tie the game. Jack trying to mix up his defense here, trying to get aggressive in the position where it's definitely not safe to do so. AyyJayy saw that one coming. Yeah, Jack doesn't have his new shirt Placebo. He doesn't have the new shirt Copium in his name today. He must be playing in a familiar shirt today. Big bump onto AyyJayy. AppJack scores again. And there really is no reason for him to stop doing this, because although AyyJayy saved the very first air dribble bump that Jack went for this game, he's conceded a whole pile afterwards, and that means that Jack will know, and that's a very winning strategy for him. It's been a very successful strategy for him so far. AyyJayy skips past Jack in the back corner. Again, this challenge much closer to ceiling height than the ground. But for the second time this game, Jack lunges in the back corner and gets beaten. AyyJayy keeping a keen eye on Jack's approach, outplaying him at the exact moment he gets there. Jack trips up AyyJayy now after the kickoff. AyyJayy forced to move all the way back into his half. That means that Jack's going to try and turn around early. Put AyyJayy in another awkward spot. This time he goes under him. AyyJayy might have been expecting another physical play. Jack never going to be that predictable. This goes for the low 50. Walks it in for 4-3. Jack's playing such a smart game at the moment. Really keeping AyyJayy guessing. That's a phenomenal save, but AyyJayy still in a great spot. Can he fight his way through? Jack will not if he misses precision touch like that. Jack wave dashes into the demo to seal the possession back for himself. Cuts in field. AyyJayy again sitting in that near post area that's been so vulnerable all game. Jack tried to shoot under him. AyyJayy does react on this time. One wall dash. before attempting to send the ball long. AppJack with a nice recovery on the back wall. Keeps the ball safe in his corner. Keeps back corner boost control as well. And chases AyyJayy away to the midfield before chasing him further for the demo. AyyJayy just can't get away from him in this matchup. You'll notice it's not always a run-ahead demo, a run-ahead bump from Jack. He is shooting from distance every now and then. Because obviously, goal line defense can be pretty hard countered at times by physical play. How do you force your opponent to defend on the goal line? Well, occasionally, just take a shot. Just let them know that at any moment, you might be about to pull the trigger. And that's what Jack's really done well in this matchup so far, is he's keeping AyyJayy honest. He's making sure that AyyJayy can't just feel comfortable and lunge in at any moment. He's always worrying about the long shot. He's always worrying about the quick attack. And then when he does back up to cover that option, Jack just takes his time, gets up nice and close, and runs right through AyyJayy. For once, Jack not outplayed in the back corner. Instead, it's AyyJayy who gets beaten to the punch. He had a boost advantage, but he didn't expect Jack to stick around for that one. Thought at least he'd be able to get a 50-50, which would usually favor the defender. Jack mixes up his kickoff once again. AyyJayy with a heavy first touch off the wall. A lot of work to be done. He does have flip reset, but Jack stands strong in the way of it and manages his boost to perfection. It's phenomenal ball pressure by AyyJayy though. He knows that if he backs down, he's going to be in a precarious position, as he has struggled to deal with AppJack's demos so far. AppJack chasing him all the way into the back corner, up the wall, and for once AyyJayy escapes with his life and the ball to play with. Reset for AyyJayy. High shot and in! And compliments in the chat from AppJack. What a finish from AyyJayy. Didn't rush the reset, didn't rush the shot either. He placed it, picked out his spot, and they absolutely nailed it. 1 goal game. Jack still looks to be very much in control, forcing AyyJayy back, and then dominating him when he does end up back. My goodness, how did Jack get that boost? Well, to be completely honest, I thought AyyJayy was going to come away with that one. It looked like Jack was pushing him into it. And again, AyyJayy denied him back corner boost. Such small margins. But Jack comes away with it and misses the open net anyway. Now AyyJayy might get a boost. No, it's again Jack who comes away with a boost in the close quarters exchange. 3 times in a row. Jack steals the booster right underneath AyyJay's nostrils. He's going to go for a demo as well. Gets it. Makes sure not to hit the ball. And scores in one of the most frustrating exchanges of AyyJay's life. 3 boost steals, followed up by a demo, and then the open net finish. But I've got to give credit to Jack. To land that demo and then hard steer to the right to dodge the ball, to make sure he doesn't hit the ball towards his own half, is what made it possible to score there. And here's another boost steal for Jack. AyyJayy is going to get more and more frustrated if this keeps happening. He's been demoed as well. Oh my goodness, this is a tilter. Jack's going to slow roll him just to make matters worse. This might be the single most tilting game that I have ever seen. The amount of moments where AyyJayy is being frustrated is really quite hard to watch. He's still in this though. He just has to try and get ball control and quickly capitalize on it. Alright, there you go. He's got the possession. He's got the ball. Jack's of course trying to chase him to try to go for more demos. He's not running back to net. And again, he steals the boost. This is ridiculous. Jack's... Oh, he steals yet another boost where both players were extremely close. I mean, how does he keep getting away with this? I swear, there's been 4 times this game where both players are equidistant to the boost and it just goes to Jack. Psionics have been paid off, clearly. That's 2 goal game now, and AyyJayy might be able to make it 1. How much boost has AppJack got? Not a lot. He's still making AyyJayy work for this. No panic from AppJack. Just stand strong behind the ball, and of course, he's first to the boost. That's been the story of this game. Physical plays from the get-go. He's going to run and take the mid as well. Just to hamstring AyyJayy some more. AyyJayy has to score, and he has to score now, and he will score. 3 seconds remain, and he low 50s the ball into the back of the net. It looked like he's lining up for a top corner flick. Very convincing approach, but now he needs a kick-off goal, or at least to get the ball up into the air. Well, it's going to have to be the latter. He can't run for the back corner boost. Has to make a play with a very low amount. Jack just looking to knock this into the ground. He should be able to do it, and well, well played by AyyJayy to have any kind of chance at the end of a game like this, to keep his head cool and to fight back to a 1-goal deficit, I can't really explain how impressive that is, because this was a massively tilting game. Jack just refuses to stop demoing him, keeps catching him out with the bumps, and then the boost steals over and over again. I think it even brought a little quick chat out of AyyJayy as well. I mean, that was just non-stop. Okay, it looks like we do actually have everybody in the lobby, even though it doesn't show us them being here. And wow, Batmobile AyyJayy. I can't say I've seen him play this in a long time, but this might make sense actually, because if Jack has been prioritizing the physical game, the Batmobile has long been known as the hardest car to bump and demo, and AyyJayy certainly has experience with the longer car hitboxes, tons of game time in the Dominus, which is somewhat similar. This is an interesting development for sure, but how's the smoothness? How are the mechanics going to be? Because clearly AyyJayy was able to keep up with Jack mechanically. Both players looked to be evenly matched with their recoveries, evenly matched with their efficiency. The real difference was the physical game of Jack, and then just some extremely narrow quarter boost steals, which I don't even know if you could put down to a superior play. It's just how it went in that game. AyyJayy, so far, so good. Sneaks the ball under Jack with a mesmerizing twirl. Jack just dodging the wrong way there. Thought the ball was going to be coming straight at him in a 50-50. AyyJayy goes for the bottom corner. Now, will Jack even attempt to keep up the bumps and demos that he's been prioritizing? Right now, AyyJay's the one with a good position for himself. Fakes the wall pass, instead cuts infield. The flick is decent enough to force a jump out of Jack, but not enough to force him to lose control of the possession play. Jack will flick, so far no run ahead demo, no air double bump. That was a position where both of those strategies were available to him. He's still keeping AyyJayy honest with the shots though. Jack fake jumps, AyyJayy decides to make a play on the ball either way. It's a very intelligent move there by AyyJayy, knowing that if Jack does go for it, he's got it covered. If Jack doesn't go for it, well, it's going to be fine anyway. One bump attempted there by Jack. AyyJayy quick to get away from it. It's Jack with a monstrous dunk almost. Gets the ball to squeeze into the top corner. AyyJayy now chasing Jack. Narrowly misses him. Jack was forced to miss the boost though. That leaves it for AyyJayy, who picks it up. So he got something out of that failed bump attempt, at the very least. Jack air dribbles from his own wall in the back corner. AyyJayy quick to intercept. Will he get away and score? Yes, he will. This so far looks like a strategical brilliance by AyyJayy to switch to a car that's forcing Jack to not even think about the physical plays that appear to be the difference between the two players. Up until now, there has been no mechanical mismatch apparent as AyyJayy dodges yet another demo. Jack did go for it. A lovely reverse challenge by Jack. 50s it into the middle. AyyJayy will be pretty disappointed at that outcome. He had control, or so he thought. He just wasn't ready for Jack to challenge at that exact moment. Let his guard down just briefly. Left the infield option open. Did not 50 from goal side in defense. Jack trying to quickly intercept. It kicks out into the midfield. That'll be AyyJay's ball. Lovely first touch. Reset secured. Ground pinch from AyyJayy. And it's in. Absolute stunner. A bullet of a pinch from AyyJayy from the edge of the box. Even with a speed flip, Jack wasn't going to catch that one. Massive step up in quality from AyyJayy. He is now the one dictating the majority of the possession. He's been outshot. He's been outpressured by Jack 2 games in a row. He's been beaten by Jack 2 games in a row. Now it is AyyJayy with all the offense. Jack being forced to make saves as AyyJayy proves to be too elusive once again. Slippery customer in the Batmobile he is. Oh my goodness, AyyJay's got the moves. Faked the air dribble bump. Jack lunged in to try and counter it, and AyyJayy instead delays a dodge to lift the ball up and over him. That is just gorgeous. And the interesting thing is, I don't think Jack's got another car other than the Fennec that he could go to, but Has anyone seen him play the Fennec as of late? He's, I think, just been playing the Octane so as not to mix up his threes mechanics at all. He's done well here though. Big cuts on the infield. Jack did mess up that turn there. He certainly could have taken one touch and shot the ball into an open net, but he managed to shoot it into a defended net effectively either way. Kickoff goes the way of Jack. He's flicked it well on target, but AyyJayy snipes the top corner of his own goal. You know, had he hit the post there, Jack would be all over him, but the fact he caught the joint made it impossible for Jack to follow up. Jack bails out of another air dribble bump setup. Forces AyyJayy to skid away from the play. Now here comes Jack. This is something that worked well for him all game long, and it works again. You can pick a card that's hard to hit, but Jack still finds him like a homing missile. A very slow homing missile, I might add. Jack triple bumps him into the back of the net, and the ball rolls in slowly afterwards. AyyJayy writes in chat, your rattle's on crack, by the way, in case anyone's watching on low res can't read what the players are saying. AyyJayy back in front by 2. Pounces on a heavy touch from Jack in the back corner. Should I say a light touch? I mean, that touch there was supposed to give Jack enough time to grab the boost, come back to the ball, but it was just not heavy enough to keep AyyJayy at bay. Still the best game by far for the American. It's Jack coming in, the flip reset attempt. It's a good one, and it's a goal. Every time Jack flies forward, AyyJayy must be thinking, okay, he's going to try and flip reset bump me on this, surely. Oh no, he's just gone for the shot. So this is the mind game for Jack, just occasionally shooting, whether it's from an aerial play, whether it's from a distance. Just sending a shot on target every now and then, either to catch AyyJayy off guard or maybe even to get a goal. 1 goal difference. Jack trying to sweep AyyJayy, who's been on a tear on the EU server since getting here. And he gets him with a bump yet again. It took him for a while to adapt to the Batmobile, but now he's connecting with him regularly. Tie game. And he's not going for big bumps. He's really being precise with it. AyyJayy bumps Jack into the mid boost. That'll give him time to grab the back corner. He sticks around to think about dunking on Jack, but no player able to go for a back corner boost there. It wasn't going to spawn. You'll notice that they both just flipped away from it. They both knew that boost is not going to be there for a while. They played for the mid. AyyJayy got it first. Jack backs up. Now AyyJayy into the air. Just a regular air dribble, but it's a fantastic lift on the second touch to put himself 1 goal ahead again. Just look how much height he got on that second touch there. Jack was trying to block AyyJay's car, trying to get a touch on the ball, but no chance. With that amount of height on the approach. AyyJayy, kickoff goal attempt with the wave dash. He's done well. Just like Jack earlier on in the series, it's such a precise touch needed here. He has to hit the ball and jump for the wave dash in the same movement, and he did it perfectly to get enough distance for the run-up. Although Jack did well to come back in this matchup. Now it's AyyJayy who has the lead. Was that reminiscent of the last game? Jack getting the boost steal in the back corner. I call it a steal because, you know, any boost grab is technically a steal when they're both going for it. Jack slots a bottom corner shot. AyyJayy let his guard down here. I think he should have seen that one coming. Didn't look behind him. Didn't steer wildly to the right to avoid the inevitable demo. And he got caught. Now Jack bumps AyyJayy once. Can't catch him a second time. And AyyJayy scoops another goal into the net. That was not too far off by Jack, but he'll be a bit disappointed that that first bump wasn't followed up by contact on the second one. It looks like he kind of ramped up over the top of AyyJay's car, showing that the Batmobile pick does make sense. Jack just drives right into the ball. No second dodge there. Wanted the ball to head to his own back corner. This is a new kickoff strat that he's been going for. Oh, I think he's missed the open net though. Jack turtles into the back corner, acknowledging the fact that this game is over. He had an open net there from a nice kickoff strat, but he beamed it with the shot. AyyJayy on the board. Long way to go yet, but the Batmobile does seem to be the answer so far. It seems to, well, it doesn't stop AppJack's air dribble bumps and run ahead demos, but it definitely makes Jack think twice before going for one. Snaky car. It is saying he never plays Batmobile. He does play Dominus though, but yeah, he's playing so he can't get bumped. Yeah, really, really smart. I love that move from AyyJayy because I was, you know, when he loaded in the Batmobile at the start of Game 3, the first thing my mind thought was, I've never seen him play Batmobile before. I'm trying to remember a time, and I just couldn't remember a time he's played Batmobile, but I still like it because versus the strat Jack's going for, it makes perfect sense. So, genius from AyyJayy, and he's showing brilliant adaptability to the car already. He seems comfortable. He's slowed down the game, and that's what you've got to do in the Batmobile. It's not just about being hard to bump and demo, it's also about being precise with every single touch you make. It's not a car that lends itself to booming the ball around the pitch like an Octane, or even a Dominus for that matter. You've got to be precise, you've got to be exact, and AyyJayy is definitely both of those things today. Jack correcting an open net miss there. He knew as long as he got the ball to bounce off the back wall, it would be fine. Had a bit of a head start to beat AyyJayy to the rebound. Jack absorbs most of AyyJayy's challenge there. Jumps over the demo. That might prove to be costly for AyyJayy. Well played. He also jumps over the attempted demo. Both players keeping a keen eye on their whereabouts. At the start of the game, oh my goodness, that's a flick and a half, but Jack somehow keeps it out. AyyJayy sticks around for the finish, but what a save by Jack. Monstrous flick to the top corner. Both players actually did so well in that exchange. The flick was almost perfect. Jack's recovery was absolutely perfect to get back to the ball the quicker of the two players, but you might notice there that AyyJayy bumped him as he was lunging in for the save, and that actually forced Jack to more center the ball than clear it, which left it in the middle for AyyJayy to score an open net. Phenomenal exchange. Now AyyJayy flying forward to yet another reset play. Goes low and in. Jack is having a hard time reading the Batmobile. It's something that you've got to bring up every time there's a Batmobile in the field. This is not a car we see often these days. It used to be maybe second, third most popular car. Octane has always been the most popular, but well, you know, at times Batmobile has been way up there with the Dominus as the second most popular car pre-Fennec era. Back then, I think players were more used to understanding what the Batmobile can do in certain positions and what to expect when a Batmobile's flying at you or about to hit the ball from various positions. But these days, the Batmobile is such a rare pickup that when a mechanical monster like AyyJayy grabs it, he is very, very hard to read. And how are you supposed to know what AyyJayy is capable of in any position, never mind all of them, that Jack's going to find himself in? AyyJayy outplays Jack in the midfield once again. Jack misses his touch on the overhead, and AyyJayy gets his fourth goal of the game. Now, I think Jack was going for a glancing blow here. He might have even been trying to shoot, because if he can get a very slight touch on that one, he did get a very slight touch based on the sound of the game, but the trail remained orange, so it looked like the server says, no, you did not get a touch on that. That's what enabled AyyJayy to get it over him. Jack quickly turns around, not able to turn around quickly enough though to score an AyyJayy's open net. Perfectly times the boost pickup. Well, he's taking a bit of a scenic route here. That's enabled AyyJayy to grab quite a few small pads. Lovely catch by AyyJayy. Just chips the ball over the midfield line. Jack was expecting a soft clear. Instead, it's a boomer. And the Jack accidentally clears right towards AyyJayy, who's all over him in this game. 5-1. What a comeback we're witnessing. AyyJayy was getting tilted beyond belief. Well, maybe it's unfair to say that. AyyJayy was up against a player who, you know, was playing in a way that would have tilted 99.9% of Rocket League players beyond belief. But AyyJay's kept his head in the game. Even the game where he was getting every boost stolen from him and he was getting bumped around all over the place. He stayed cool, he stayed calm, and made it into a real game at the end. 1 goal difference in game 2. Now he's brought out the Batmobile, a car that he's not familiar with, but neither is Jack these days. Not familiar with playing against any world-class 1v1 players in the Batmobile, that's for sure. I think all that experience with the Dominus is certainly helping AyyJayy adapt to the longer hitbox. Now Jack will get one here. AyyJayy well out the play. But once again, if you take a look at the scorecard, it tells you all you need to know. You saw 2 games at the start of the series where Jack was out-shooting, out-pressuring AyyJayy. Now, Jack is almost afraid to apply that same pressure because he's worried about running into a solid Batmobile in defense. Another open net for Jack, tries to air roll around it. It proves to be a bit too tricky of an angle. And AyyJayy dodges the follow-up demo as well. He's taking his time here. Doesn't have a lot of boost, but he's going to stay on the ball regardless. How quickly can Jack accelerate into a shooting position? Not quickly enough. Deny AyyJayy the back corner boost, but he shoots well enough to punish that boost grab. AyyJayy decided to make a run for the back corner after spotting Jack approaching slowly. Jack's shot was perfect. Placed at the far post to cut that lead down just a little bit more. AyyJayy now fakes the kickoff. Great adaptation once again. He realizes that midfield play is going great for him, so if he can just get into this position, there's a high likelihood that he's going to delay Jack's scoring potential, and that's just gone in. Jack thought he could catch up to AyyJayy, no doubt on his screen he saw some sparks, but as we can see on the spectator and as we can see on the server side, it did not register a demo. AyyJayy escapes and scores his 6th of the game. No doubt both players acknowledge the potential for a demo in a position like that, but as we all know, server does not always agree with whatever you see on your own screen. 28 ping might not feel like a lot, might not seem like a lot, but it is enough to make a difference between sparks appearing on someone's screen and in fact no demo being registered. Thank you J3 says for the brand new Prime, and also the Mad Atter for the 8-month Prime, and Izzy55 for the brand new Prime as well. Welcome back and welcome to you guys respectively. Hope you're all enjoying the show match today. AyyJayy has got such an affinity for the Batmobile. He looks like he's been maining it for months, even though he just picked it up. What a read that is. If he'd picked up that boost on spawn, I would have been stunned. He missed it actually. He missed it twice. I looked at my chat, I wasn't sure when the boost was coming back. Saw AyyJayy flying back at it. Yeah, this really is dependent on how quickly both players can adapt, because it's not just about adapting to the car you're playing, it's adapting to the car you're playing against, and AyyJayy is so confusing in the Batmobile. He's absolutely surprised Jack time and time again here. Jack not as comfortable throwing himself in for challenges. He says he's scared to even try and bump him, so I mean that tells you all you need to know. AyyJayy earlier said he's scared to wall dash with the Batmobile, so you know he's trying to play a slower game. He doesn't want to be wall dashing and wave dashing around like he does in his Octane, moving at a great rate of knots every play. But even though he's been forced to play at a bit of a slower pace, AyyJayy still dominates in the bat and wins his 2nd game in a row. We're set up for fantastic game 5 here. Jack improved at the end of this one. It's still not enough to close the gap completely. AyyJayy says please no Batmobile. I think it's going to be the Fennec. I talked about it earlier. You know, Jack does have the Fennec to switch to. And Fennec Jack is a very different player from Octane Jack. Fennec Jack plays very, very hard to get past. He doesn't try and dominate his opponent with pace and pressure. I know it's actually just going to be the same Octane, but maybe he says he doesn't have the Batmobile. Oh no. Oh, he tried to switch to the Batmobile. Oh, that is hilarious. I don't think it would have worked, to be honest. I think AyyJay's Batmobile looks a lot better than what I'd imagine Jack's Batmobile would be, since Jack is an Octane Fennec main and AyyJay's the player with long car experience, namely the Dominus. But what a discovery, what a valuable discovery AyyJay's made today. The fact that he's switched to the Batmobile and had such success, it means that he can do this again. You know, if he's up against a player who's playing a very, very physical game, he's got this trick in his back pocket now, something he says himself he's never done before. That's because I don't think anyone ever bumped the living daylights out of AyyJayy the way that Jack has. Like he said, he called him rattles and crack. You know, there are definitely players who play a physical style that likes which we saw from Jack in games 1 and 2. I don't think AyyJayy ever ran into a player who is just as good at 1v1 and also playing that style. Jack shrugs AyyJayy off the boost. That's a great boost grab by Jack. A lot of players would have panicked and flipped at that one and left themselves vulnerable to being tripped up as they flip towards the boost. I mean, all it takes is a little bump as you jump and you're going to get sent flying. Jack knew that, stayed grounded after muscling AyyJayy off the boost. it was free for himself to grab. AyyJayy, ceiling interception, trying to go for the floor pinch on target. Again, Jack able to nip in front of him for the boost grab. And okay, look at that. AyyJay's getting comfortable with the wall dashes, but was he thinking a bit too much about that and not about playing the game? I think he probably put all of his focus into wall dashing there and forgot that he needed to defend in about 2 seconds time. GG Walrus, thanks for the 6-month prime. Welcome back to the channel. Jack leads by 1. AyyJayy air dribbling with a reset. Jack perfectly reads him. AyyJayy trying to shoot the ball low and on target. Jack met him on the goal line in such a way that he could counter-attack. That was a safe finish from Jack. His open nets have never been his strong point. He made sure not to rush that one. Another kickoff goes Jack's way. He wants to bump AyyJayy, but that ball's not even on target, so he needed the demo there to really get anything done. It would have been some snipe if he landed a demo in the back wall. AyyJayy forced to retreat, no boost available. Mid also not available for him. Full retreat from AyyJayy, and Jack drills a shot. AyyJayy watches it bounce off the bar. Luckily for him, it sat in a position that he could collect. Now AyyJayy, a little bit more boost and he would have had a free shot on a center ball there, but instead it's Jack who continues to dominate the boost. This is getting reminiscent of game number 2 here. AyyJayy dodges Jack once again. Jack committed all his boost for that play, but he knew that the ball wasn't really in a position AyyJayy could do anything with. Now here comes a pop bump. Has Jack hit it too high? No, it's just perfect. Scoops underneath the bar. AyyJayy could not fly out of the way. That was just perfect from Jack. I think if he hit that one any lower, AyyJayy would have thrown himself at it, but height of the shot, timing of the arrival was just too difficult to counter. Now AyyJay's turn. Reset. Secured, of course. The shot as well, but this time Jack lunges across the face of the goal, and for the second time in a row, he perfectly predicts AyyJay's aerial play. Once with the ground pinch, once with the back corner flick, or the back post flick I should say, and gives himself another goal on the counter-attack. AyyJayy gonna need to up the conversion rate on these aerial plays, or play for something a little bit safer. Still though, gotta take note that he's surviving a lot of these drive-by demo attempts from Jack, and it will be the ground game for AyyJayy. Flick to the top corner, hits the post and out. Jack's gonna take the boost again. He beats AyyJayy back to the ball. This is frustrating for AyyJayy. He just doesn't have sufficient possession. He doesn't have sufficient control of the game right now to be waiting around for chances to come to him. He has to force them. Jack now starts to manage his boost effectively. AyyJayy with an advantage, but masterfully done by Jack. Denying the 50. AyyJayy now the one to demo him out of the play. He had to use all of his boost to get that one though. Starts again in his own half. Delayed challenge by Jack. Followed that one up with a reverse challenge as well. Such a close fake challenge. Hides behind the ball and then flips into it in reverse. Unreal mix up on the timing. So difficult to read, and that's been the difference in game 5. Jack's read all of AyyJay's aerial plays. He's countered them. And meanwhile, AyyJayy has been struggling to read Jack, but the bumps are still hard to come by. I mean, look at AyyJayy just sitting in the midfield. Watches Jack go past him once. Comes out on top in a little bit of a tussle next to the ball. And he does get a goal, but that took a long, long time. Delayed kickoff by Jack. He's going to play for the back corner boost. AyyJayy trying to quickly get around and shoot the ball on target. Jack's already all over him. That's going to waste even more time. Can AyyJayy find a way through? Not yet. Both players out of boost. Jack playing for the small pads. As this 100 gets stolen. Tight angle reset shot for AyyJayy. Pinches it low. Jack's read him again and continues to play such a good defensive game against the aerial play, but he runs a bit too far for a boost steal. Well, did the hard part, but he missed the ball. I think Jack was trying to chip the ball up the wall there as he went for the boost, but he just drove right by it. AyyJayy had an open net. 2-goal game now. Plenty time remaining. Jack has controlled this 5th game. It's the first AyyJayy Batmobile game that Jack has been able to control. Oh, that was a floppy landing. AyyJayy totally messed that one up, and I think he would never be making that mistake in the Octane. The challenge is good. The boost total is not. AyyJayy slowly advancing. Trying to play as clinically as possible. Finds a gap to get the boost, but Jack uses that opportunity to close the distance. Final 20 seconds now. AyyJayy has to score, and he has to score soon. It's a big flick, but it's not big enough. Jack staying on the ball to confirm the win, and he did it against AyyJayy's Batmobile in Game 5. You know, the Batmobile games can put AyyJayy at a 2-1 advantage, but the Octane mirror match was completely in Jack's favour. GG's, what a series by two of the best in the world. AyyJayy saying he should have gone back to Octane for Game 5. But yeah, that would have been really, really interesting. He says his mechanics feel trash on this. Yeah, I can totally get that. Phenomenal games. Absolute pleasure to watch.